Blues make a note again. I think that's what he was saying, that he needed his army to get a higher score. So here's the biggest fight that's happening, 58 minutes in the game. You can switch to half speed if you want, just to watch it. You'll notice the Chimeras, since they don't attack ground, they're instantly focused on the undead heroes. The Lich goes down faster than a blink of an eye. The undead doesn't even have time to sit back and coil it. He's still trying to do some hit-and-run tactics. The army sizes are not even anymore. It's 70 to 90. Orange has this severely in the bag. There's nothing really Blue can do at this point. Again, it was his decision that made this game, I think. Not necessarily Orange or Purple being a better player or in a better position at any given time. It was who made the fight happen in the beginning of the fourth quarter and who could take advantage of that to finish the game. So that happens a lot in free-for-alls. A lot of the replays I've seen, it ends up being that third or the third or fourth player that end up making the decision of victory for either the first or second. A lot of those decisions don't end up working out for the person who starts the fight. So one lesson to be learned here is that it's not necessarily the best idea to make fights happen. Patience is such a key thing, and it's really hard to be patient when you sat killing nothing, doing nothing for 15 minutes, and heck, barely doing anything for the first 45 minutes of the game. You have to be extremely patient in free-for-all. Watch your resources. Remember, it's who's standing in the end. Do more scouting, be friends with people, and just try to stay out of big confrontations until the very end when you have a superior army and when you have superior hero levels to be able to make it happen. So that's exactly what Onublex did in this game. He was able to build a really good, strong defense on his base, making it impenetrable to the two undead players, even though they both tried in the middle part of the game, towards the half part of the game. And he was just able to use his Owl Scout and find the ideal time to finish off his only competition in his eyes, which were Perp, and eventually be able to completely squash the Blue army when he has it happen. It's really cool to see the use of certain heroes. These are pretty common heroes to see. The only real odd hero in this bunch was the Keeper of the Grove. You don't really see Keeper of the Grove in 1v1s, but you do end up obviously seeing it here in 3v3s, and he uses it to really good points in this game, using that entangle so he can finish off individual units with his huge army. So especially when you're up against undead players, I think it's key probably to be using that Keeper of the Grove. So you can kind of stop him from doing all those hit and runs. At least stop his heroes. You can't entangle air units. And he ended up getting Thorns Aura. He's got it at level 2, so he must have been getting it early. I would have probably gotten Treants, but again, I'm not the number 1 ranked FFA player. But the Thorns Aura only would have affected his ground units, which at this point in the game was only a bear and his 2 heroes. So that was the last fight. Big starfall at the end, which was really cool to watch. Finish off the Blue player who had like a 70-foot army. All the Gargs fell really quickly to it. And that's the end of the game. About an hour long. This is an hour and 19 seconds. So right up to the perfect time. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this style of audio commentarying. I pretty much need your opinion on how I did it, and to see if you want this style or if there's something I should change, or what you guys thought of it. If you guys even like free-for-all replays, who knows? I think they're a little bit more entertaining nowadays than, again, like I said, than 1v1s, only because of the hero choices you get to see, and often you get to see the hero ultimates being used. It's a different style of game. You know, it's not 1v1. It's really a completely different game if you think about it. There's lots of different differences there that make it entertaining in its own way. And it's longer, so you have to spend more time usually on it. And you see normally 1v1 games are ending in the first 30 minutes or first 15 minutes. You know, those are really quick, and they're determined by a player's control with their micro more than their strategy. A lot of the strategies are all the same. You see a lot of the same cookie cutter strategies, so it's whoever can execute better and who can control their units better who's going to win that, and those type of wins come very quickly. Whereas opposed to free-for-alls where it's more, you're thinking long term. You're looking at the end of the game. If you make a 1v1 fight happen, like a solo game, if you were to do a solo game in a free-for-all, you would probably lose in the end because although you might have won against your opponent, you're probably going to be too strung out in resources, and your army's going to be weaker because maybe you were harassing more rather than creeping, and the other two players are going to be able to walk all over you. So definitely don't play a 1v1 style of play in a free-for-all. Take it slower, have patience, creep up, expand, get your resources ready. Don't go above, really watch your upkeep. Stay up below 50 for the first quarter of the game, or longer if you can. Whoever hoards the most typically can win. If you got a good enough base defense to be able to win and spend all those hoarded resources in a lot of production buildings. You know, say you have 4 barracks or 4, let's say, griffonaries if you're a human, and you can quickly pump out a bunch of knights and a bunch of griffins without staying in upkeep for very long. Let's say you were at 50 food and you had 20,000 gold and 20,000 lumber or something. Boom, you can be at 100 food relatively quickly and only be in that upkeep for as long as the fight happens. So if you're only in 100 food upkeep, the high upkeep, above 80 food, you know, you're only there for a few minutes. So anyway, lots of stuff to talk about with free-for-alls. I'm definitely not an expert. I never claimed to be, and I'm just starting kind of learning about them more. And like I said, I like using audio commentaries to learn myself. And hopefully you guys get a little bit of entertainment out of this, as well as inspired to probably play some free-for-alls. Oh, here's the FML League. I'll give you guys a website for that. It's masters-league.com. And that's the place for a lot of free-for-all replays if you guys want to watch them. Again, try to analyze them by the quarter. Pause it every 15 minutes and kind of see who's winning. And that's how you can kind of determine what's happening. It's going to be really boring if you sit there and watch a free-for-all replay at 2x speed for, you know, that's 30 minutes of your time. You know, even watching it at 8x speed, you might not be able to understand everything that's happening. So maybe kind of watch what's happening in the first 15 minutes. Like I said, not a lot of stuff is going to be happening early game. You can kind of pause it there and see who's maybe ahead at that point. The next 15 minutes, it's a little bit of hit and run, they're testing the water, seeing who can they do it. And again, the third quarter, and a lot of these replays, again, this is not just this replay. I've watched it in a lot of the replays I've seen. That third quarter seems to be very, very boring. The 15 minutes before the final 15 seem to be just nothing happening. You know, no big fights. So that's what I got to say on free-for-alls, guys. I'll be probably doing some more Give Me 5s in the near future. In fact, there might be a Give Me 5 out before this audio gets out. Steel's helping me out with that. And what else is happening? Nothing too much. I'm getting back into Magic the Gathering, so I'm kind of playing that a little bit. Pity that we just lost Joseki because he was really good at Magic the Gathering. I could probably maybe PM him and ask for some tips or something. Who knows? Let's see. Lado's been doing some shoutcasting, so if you've seen him on the front page every now and then, he does some casting of his own matches, some ladder things. He did a TGIF the other day, which was pretty fun for him, I think. I don't know if it was fun for everybody else, but hopefully someone's finding entertainment out of it. And oh yeah, check out the we have a team section at WCReplays.com. It's called let me look it up real quick. The team section of replays. It's team game and FFA strategy and discussion is what it's called, and that's in the strategy forums at WCReplays.com. So check that out there. Maybe post some of your replays, ask what you could have done better, or maybe what you can look at some other guides. One of the guides that I liked, and I actually put a sticky on it for the forums, was his human FFA guide. That's up there stickied. There's also an undead guide that was up there somewhere. I'm not sure, but a lot of really interesting. If you want to read, if you'd rather read than listen, and if you want to have something to look back onto for notes, there's a lot of nice guides in the sticky section here at the free-for-all strategy and discussion at the WCR forum. So enjoy that. I'm going to head out now, and this has almost been an hour-long commentary. What? 45 minutes? That's pretty good. Commentating on an hour-long free-for-all game in about 50 minutes, so that's pretty good, I think. I was hoping to make it a little bit shorter, but that's it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments, or you can PM me, Shark, on the WCR forums. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. This has been Systemshark. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.